Hello my friends, it's Lorraine here from the Great British Veg Plot, and today I am sowing lettuce into pot 2. Now I have some things to say about pot 2 and the choice of pot, but you may also have sown lettuce with me a couple of weeks ago, and if you did and it's under a little bit of protection, I put mine into a box, if you remember. It's on my patio here and it is growing and I'm very excited about it. But lettuce is something that you don't want to have too many of all in one go. So sowing some more now, a few weeks later, and then a few weeks after that, and a few weeks after that, you can keep a succession of lettuce growing right the way through the summer if that floats your boat. So don't worry about if you haven't done this before, don't worry if you haven't sown yet. Now is a good time to sow your next lot or even your first lot. And if you don't do it now, tomorrow or the next day or the next day, we can keep going with this most of the summer until it gets too hot. So the pot for pot 2. In pot 2, we are going to grow lettuce to start with, and that is going to be followed by either a courgette or a run of beans, depending on what is your bag. Either way, you need some depth, because if you're growing beans, you will need to put in some canes to support them. So you need it to be deep enough. And if you're growing a courgette, you need it to be big enough to hold enough soil to nurture the plant, because courgettes are hungry beasts. So you need to make sure that you've got plenty of compost. We will talk about feeding and what we feed our pots as we go on through the growing season. But for right now, you need to make sure you have a deep enough pot. So this is my pot for pot 2. It is an old bucket that I used to have when I had horses. And we used to have loads of these lying around. Now this one is very frail. You'll see that it's going at the edges, so I'm going to be careful not to lift it up by the handles but to use the base. The other thing about this is it has no drainage holes, but what I'm going to do is stick a skewer in the side here just to make 3 or 4 holes, but about an inch up. And the reason I do that is because then you have a bit of a sump of water, a bit of a space where water can sit and the compost won't dry out. And I promise you, your courgettes or your beans or your summer crops will love a little bit of a water reserve when it is hot. So lettuce is going in here, nice deep pot. The lettuce doesn't need a very big, deep space, but the crop that we are going to follow with does. So we have our pot of compost, we have the lettuce seeds. Now this variety that I'm sowing is more of the Tom Thumb. I sowed this in the tray and it's growing quite nicely. It is a lettuce that will heart up, so it will get a center to it and you can therefore harvest the whole thing, or you can keep it going and growing longer just by pulling off the outside leaves. If you don't need an entire lettuce, you can pick just 3 or 4 leaves off of each of the plantlets. So the seeds are here. These are lettuce seeds. They're quite small, although these aren't the smallest lettuce seeds I've ever seen, but they're dark, so they're hard to see against the soil. So as you do this, just sprinkle very lightly. Bear in mind, we do not need 100 lettuces to all come together in one go. So you don't need them thickly sown. And what we're going to do with this is put a little covering of compost on the top, and I'll put a label on it, remember that, and put it in the sunshine here on my patio in the south facing sunny spot. I will just say once again, I've completely forgotten to mention, the compost that this is all sown into is damp, not wet, but damp. And when I've put the compost on the top, just a very, very, very light covering for lettuce, what I'll do is just give it a little spray with the water and make sure that that stays nice and moist. If it gets cold, looks like it's going to go down to sort of below about 3 degrees at night time, what I will do is either put some bubble wrap, some cardboard, or some horticultural fleece just over the top to protect it while it is very cold at night. Seeds don't do so well with the heat of the sun and then the real freezing, or not so much freezing, but just very cold nighttime temperatures that we sometimes get here. So I will see you again shortly, but that for now, my friends, is pot 2. Thank you for watching. Let me know how you're getting on with your seeds.